You know, a few months ago, I was in Union Station and saw a body hit the floor at the bottom of the escalator in Union Station because there was a murder right in front of me. Up on the second floor, I was going to get a tie, and I heard the shots and saw the body hit the floor. So I've been listening all day long to people trying to make some argument that Washington, D.C. is a safe place. It's not a safe place, and we can argue about statistics and numbers. There's a police commander right now on suspension because there's some allegation that the statistics have been altered. But we can argue about that all day long. Nobody in their right mind who lives there or visits there on a regular basis would tell you that Washington, D.C. is safe, and everybody who goes there knows it, and everybody who goes there knows it.
I don't know that anybody's saying that Washington, D.C. is.
This guy's great. He says his long pitch thing, and then they cackle. They go into cacklemania.
Well, also, if you watch him,
3.
That's true. And if you watch him, he knows where his camera is because they'll sit there and start, and he does the JD Vance.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's really good, Eric. He's really good.
Oh no, he's phenomenal. Hopefully,
I mean, those numbers in DC match. Put up against other cities around the world is devastating. The murder rate, per.
And that's what I've been saying, Mark. Did I not say you've got to ignore?
Don't call me Mark, please. Don't use my name in vain.
I've been saying that you've got to go by actual death tolls because they're going to say, "Oh, burglaries! Oh, what are you talking about? Oh."
Well, they're comparing murder rates to some of the most hellish cities on earth, which is beautiful.
4 in the U.S., dude. Number 4.
Oh no, it's Detroit was number 1. It was dethroned for a while.
Memphis is number 1 currently.
Memphis came up with a bullet a couple of years ago. They're number 1. It does jockey for position.
Well, remember Little Rock once was number 1.
Little Rock came up strong. Yeah, they were doing well. So you got to root for for DC to come back to number 1.
Well, what do you think of the idea? This was floated by Spicer, I think, that apparently, I think it was in the 70s or 80s, DC gave back big chunks to Virginia, and that's where Alexandria, McLean came from, whatever. He's saying give the other part back to Maryland and have only the part with the mall and all that federalized. That's it. That's DC. Everything else goes back to the states. And then just essentially toss out all the localized government and call it a day.
It's a separate issue for me because the issue I am focusing on all week is making DC a model crime-free zone as an urban Black environment and using it as a model to then go after New York, go after Philly, go after Detroit, go after LA, and use this as a model, Eric. And I think they may be doing that, using federal and National Guard troops and other resources that they have at their disposal right at their front door. Because if he can make DC into a model city and completely bury the crime rate, Jeanine Pirro was wonderful yesterday in that press conference, going after this 14 to 17-year-old armed thug groups of kids who are untouchables. If they can clean this city up, they could then use it as a model to go around the country. Which is what I'm hoping for.
All right. Well, real quick, let's go to that note right there. We've got Jeanine.
Too much violent crime being committed by young punks who think that they can get together in gangs and crews and beat the hell out of you or anyone else. They don't care where they are. They can be in DuPont Circle, but they know that we can't touch them. Why? Because the laws are weak. I can't touch you if you're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old and you have a gun. I convict someone of shooting another person with an illegal gun on a public bus in the chest, intent to kill. I convict him. And you know what the judge gives him? Probation. Says you should go to college.
Yeah.
We need to go after the DC Council and their absurd laws. We need to get rid of this concept of, no cash bail. We need to recognize that the people who matter are the law-abiding citizens. And it starts today. But it's not going to end today because the president is going to do everything we need to do to make sure that these emboldened criminals understand we see you, we're watching you, and we're going to change the law to catch you. And my final note is this. These kids understand that the jurisdiction is through the state attorney general, Brian Schwab. I did a poster of the young man from Doge who was beaten bloody with a severe concussion, a broken nose. And then I did a poster of what happens to those kids, because I can't arrest them. I can't prosecute them. They go to family court and they get to do yoga and arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Enough.
It's enough.
It changes today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. And I think the way to do it is to focus all the resources right now on this one tiny district, Eric.
Oh, yeah. Well, he has all the power in DC.
Right, right. But
it's much more difficult in other areas.
It's a high profile area. It's small. It's containable. He's got the legal authority. He's got the resources. Make DC great again and then use it as a model for these other urban hellholes. I think that's what they're planning to do. I'm just guessing on that, but it looks like they're not going to stop at DC, is what I'm getting at.
Well, actually, on that note, there are plans for it, but I do have one concern that people have to realize. When I was delivering pizza in the worst part of town in Norfolk, the police advised me that I was completely insane, and I was like, "What are you talking about? You guys are the ones with the guns." And all he goes. And the cop said, no, there's two jobs I would never do. I would never be a taxi driver. I'd never be a pizza delivery driver. You handle cash and you're in a crappy area. You are begging to get beat down. And they go, well, that's why you're here. You're here to stop crime. He said, look, we don't stop crime. We just move it.
Yeah, so just move it around.
DC, empty DC, it'll get shifted somewhere else.
Well, whether it does or not, I mean that it's easier to commit crime, for them just coming out of a projects in DC than to get in a car and travel to Alexandria, Virginia. That's for sure. I mean, in LA, it's different because every crook has a car. That's not really true in these urban Eastern environments. They're kind of wheelless and you operate on foot or on mass transit. So if you could flood the zone with cops and mass transit, the mayor herself said she wants to hire 500 new cops. And Trump just laughed it off, saying it's not about the volume of cops. It's about prosecuting the criminals and not letting them out of jail, for Christ's sakes. Having 500 additional social worker style cops is not going to cut it.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I mean, anyway, she's an idiot. But anyway, it appears that Trump actually has plans similar to that.
Okay, cool.
I saw this is written as, like a scaremongering headline for the Daily Mail, but it's Trump stuns with secret military doomsday plans that would have troops ready to invade U.S. cities at any time. Yeah,
invade. That's what we want. Invade. I mean, this chick, Karen Bass out here, is so petrified of Trump. She has nightmares of Trump at night now, where she wakes up in a cold sweat that Trump has taken over her police force. It's her only power. As I've said repeatedly, if you allow these big city mayors to cherry pick and handpick their own chief of police, you're giving them a 10,000-man army and also someone like the commander in D.C. who can alter the crime statistics at your beckoning. And that has happened repeatedly in blue urban cities around the country for the past 10 years. The guy got caught in D.C., but he was following orders from above him. Bingo. He didn't come up with this.
Yeah, his union's already saying, hey.
Right. Oh, good.
This is, essentially, it was a directive. I mean,
of course, because they're handpicking.
Make this go away.
Right. They're handpicking their chiefs of police, these black women mayors and black male mayors are able to cherry pick a guy or a girl. The case in Atlanta, I was just looking at, or the case in DC, the chief of police in DC was asked about the chain of command in a press conference this afternoon, and she didn't know what the chain of command was. She didn't know what the concept was.
Oh, she's total.
But this is who they pick, Eric, on purpose.
Oh, this is who they total pick. DEI hire. I mean,
right, but they shouldn't have the right to hire anyone. Why not? I mean, where does the power end for a mayor in the big city? What ability do they have to pick anything they want?
Oh, I agree, but I mean, she is a very specific, unique case.
We've got it out here.
What the chain of command is now?
What does that mean?
Well, is it Pam Bondi speaking to the mayor, speaking to you, or how does this work?
So at the executive.
And look who's here.
It's ridiculous. It's three black women are with no experience whatsoever.
Looking clueless.
looking clueless. Same thing in New Orleans, same thing in Chicago, same thing in LA. This has got to stop. There's got to be investigations into these people. Indict a bunch of these chicks and put them in jail. I guarantee you they're siphoning money and power off of the top. I mean, going after Big Tish in New York may be the tip of the iceberg for taking that fat fuck down. And then go after Fannie Willis in Atlanta. You got to take a couple of these chicks down to scare the shit out of the rest of them. And I guarantee you they won't be running for office that often anymore.
Right. Well, and have another chick, again, facing them. Here's a little more Jeanine.
Oh, good. I like this one.
Oh, stop it. We are putting all kinds of resources onto the street. Thanks.
Watch this.
The drop in crime rates at the end
Dropping
of the
crime rate.
What changed?
It's never enough. This changed. This changed. It's never enough. You tell these families crime has dropped. You tell the mother of the intern who was shot going out from McDonald's near the Washington Convention Center, oh, crime is down. You tell the kid who was just beat the hell and back with a severe concussion and a broken nose, crime is down. No, that falls on deaf ears. And my ears are deaf to that. And that's why I fight the fight.
Right on, lady. Way to go. I miss her. I mean, she was quite a force back in the day, Eric. You know, at her,
apparently she has 30 years of.
Yeah.
And it speaking of which, it is so completely wrong. Megyn Kelly was bitching about this, but I agree with her that they talked about Jeanine Pirro getting the thing, and they say Fox News host. Never mind, 30 years of being a DA, 30,
of Westchester County, operating out of White Plains, New York. I mean, she put a lot of people away. She knows what she's doing. She's a female Giuliani in a lot of ways, going back to when Giuliani was a prosecutor. She comes from that Italian anti-crime middle-class power base in New York, the old base. And she is in the right place at the right time for the right job, in my humble opinion, here in D.C.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, this may turn. At first, I thought, she's coming. She's too old. She's retired. Yeah, but apparently, she's got plenty of life.
She doesn't have to do push-ups or anything.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's her mind.
Right.
And,
yeah.
And the beautiful thing about somebody like her is she doesn't have to do this forever. She can set something in motion, put the right people in place, start a new tradition, because a lot of this is culture. You've got to change the culture of these offices.
You have to imprison people in prisons, in jails, incarcerate. That's the one thing that they will not allow, because the prisoners can vote for them just as easily as a non-prisoner.
Yes. Really, a lot of the problems, and it's where I get so frustrated. Why is it so bad? Because they let it be bad. I mean, it's not like this is not hard.
Well, that Marxist numbers game is being used simultaneously by Karen Bass out here with the same exact chirping. The numbers are down. The numbers are way down. There's no crime. Double murder that night in Encino. Numbers are down. The numbers are down. Another murder in West LA. The numbers are down. Complete Marxist maneuver. And you can't prove them wrong because they control the fucking numbers. That's why they have these chiefs of police on the short leash, threatening to take away their pensions. That the chief of police, who may not be altering the numbers themselves, controls the gate that leads to the files with the numbers. His underlings are the ones altering the numbers. Now, they have Hochman here in LA, and we haven't heard from him in months, so I don't know what he's doing. He was busy with the Menendez brothers, trying to keep them in jail to no avail, because they're going to get out by September. And he's kind of disappeared from the media focus of late. I've not heard from him.
Might be good. I mean,
I'm saying you're right. It might be good. He might be coming out with this stuff. But everyone who was arrested in the riots in L.A. That was by the yet to be confirmed assistant prosecutor here in L.A., the federal prosecutor, was immediately released. There was no press release. There was no nothing. Every single one that he arrested, or the FBI arrested, Department of Homeland Security arrested in the riots in L.A., was released. The guy who brought the mask for everyone, immediately released. So you can put up a headline that we arrested these guys. They're turning around. The judges are just releasing them. They're not being charged, Eric. And if charged, the judges release them or refuse to take the case.
But that's my argument. Is that if they're even if they ultimately are found not guilty, they're going to be cooling their heels in jail and not doing any crime. But like here, I like this guy. This is Portsmouth Police, Rhode Island. This guy just got out on bail or whatever. He is a predator of young people, and this is what he faced. Boom. Hello.
I mean, but the fact that one level of government doesn't recognize crime, essentially what you have is a level of government, a different level, that does not recognize the crimes of the United States. In other words, they released this guy into another level of government.
Yes.
That's insane. That's totally insane.
Well, at least there is another level of government there that's to pick him up, which is 100% better than what we have.
I mean,
You're right.
How many were not there to pick these guys up?
I know.
Right?
I agree. Well, that's why it is bonkers, because you have a scenario where, again, all you have to do is enforce the law. The laws are there. They're written. It's been, we got a long tradition. Enforce them. But this is the crazy part. The residents of DC, their liberal residents, are saying they got all these harrowing tales. Yeah, we're robbed on the street.
Everybody's got a tale. Yep.
Oh my God. But I don't want Trump's troops.
No. I'd rather get stabbed in the back, because that's much better. They're mentally retarded. You have to still protect them because they're American citizens. You can't just have them decide, I don't need protection because I'm an insane American citizen. Just treat them as mentally retarded people who happen to live in the district. You would still protect a mental retard, Eric, wouldn't you?
I'm good with the district, again, because it's federal, but there's a certain point where I'm like, you know what? Eventually you have to take responsibility for what you vote in.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
I'm
you're
sorry.
Right. Look at New York. I mean, New York, when Mandami takes the oath of office on that Quran, when he puts his hand on the Quran and takes his oath of office as mayor of New York, take it from me, I'm glad my grandfather's not around to see this. He was the campaign manager to Impellitteri, the mayor of New York, back in 1952. He's probably rolling over in his grave right now, the fact that this is happening in New York.
I think every mayor, Democrat or Republican, for the past 50 years has to be going.
Well, not de Blasio.
Sorry, free de Blasio. Sorry,
de Blasio is probably not.
No, you're right. He's probably like, oh, damn. Oh, I fell short. I could.
Well, the math just doesn't add up. You got too many people below Mandami. As I said, he's going to walk in with a huge landslide. And I think the poly markets have him at like 79% now certainty of becoming mayor. Which I said at the beginning, I didn't need the poly markets to tell me that, but the reality of it is he's the next mayor of New York. Now, you got a guy like George Will who's saying, yes, I want that to happen so everyone could see what socialism is. I don't need to see what socialism is, unlike George Will, unlike this douchebag George Will, the original rhino. I don't need Mandami to show me the evils of communism. I think what has to be enforced is his lying on his application to become an American citizen. I believe he should be deported like Michael Savage does back to Uganda, back where he came from. Get fucking aggressive. Do not turn over the largest city in the country to a communist mayor and just go, well, let's see what happens. I'm sure we could spin some campaign commercials out of that. Fuck that. Indict this guy, take away his citizenship, and send him back to fucking Uganda, Eric. And you know what? Throw his mother in there too, and his insane father at Columbia University for goodness sake.
I'm okay with that because this is what he wants to work on.
Right.
His Democratic Socialists of Americas push the abolition of traditional family,
right?
Which, by the way, it tracks perfectly with Scientology and other things like that. What do? Pull the kids away and then separate them from the family in order to indoctrinate them.
Well, I don't know about the analogy of Scientology, but the reality of it is they've been calling for this from the BLM website from back in the day of George Floyd, the destruction of the American nuclear family, which they removed by the way, from their BLM website after they were caught because it was so draconian among Black people who were family-oriented Southern Baptists and have strong family values, that they removed it. They said they were Marxist first and Black second, and then it became Black Trans Lives Matter, and it spun off into some other insanity. The reality of it is, this is part of the Marxist doctrine to destroy the nuclear family. Maybe not for the reasons that Scientology does, but for the reasons of
no, I'd say Scientology is similar to communism, which is the whole communist angle is to have, if both parents are working and doing everything else, then the children are raised by the schools, etc., and indoctrinated away from home. Scientology, just when they have the lifetime commitments, has it purified to where actually they're separated from the kids full time. When you get into the C Corps,
well, that's a separate issue. But I mean, that Scientology is really a financial Ponzi scheme. So I don't really compare it to communism that often. But about the family thing, I mean, there are people who have raised their own kids. If you go into the Sea organization, yeah, it's every man for himself. But usually the Sea Org are these impoverished people who can't afford the e-meter readings. And that's the way they pay for their stuff or get it for free based on their labor in the Sea Org. So, but that's another issue. I don't care about that today. The situation with Mandami coming into New York and taking over empty apartment buildings and giving them to communal housing is terrifying enough. And even here in LA, they've raised the minimum wage to $30 an hour. Maybe 50 is good. Maybe 75 is good. The city council in New York is further left than Mandami. The only thing holding them back has been the mayors of New York. Otherwise, if they team up together, forget about it. You're talking about free mass transit overnight. You're talking about opening up these government grocery stores, Eric, right? You know,
yeah, well, Chicago discussed it. He's planning to move forward with it. The only saving thing is, I don't know the politics well, but from what I understand, some of the things he's spouting off, he can't actually do. It has to be done by the council. And while he was on the council, he couldn't get it done.
Well, so the council, like I said, is further left than him. So believe me, they're not going to be opposed to what his crazy plans are. The only thing that could stop him really is a governor under New York state law. And Hochul is not endorsing him as of yet, because same thing happened with AOC, Eric, if you remember. The mainstream Democrats did not endorse her until she became a complete cash cow for the Democratic Party. And then all of a sudden she became their flavor of the month. Mm-hmm. But she was also handled by an Indian communist millionaire, if you recall, who's now, I believe, running himself up in Seattle somewhere for something, that guy.
He might have slid through because he was getting close to being convicted, if I recall. There was some sort of a campaign shenanigans with that guy.
Minor stuff. This guy's a billionaire. Yeah, he's a billionaire. They're not taking him down for campaign violations.
By the way, on that note of AOC and Jasmine Crockett, I don't watch a lot of Benny Johnson, but he's been doing some pretty good work. He's been traveling to their hometown to say, oh, here is their district, AOC in the Bronx. He's like, but is she from the Bronx? She's a Bronx girl. No, she's from, and it's like near White Plains, New York, like really, really nice area.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Jasmine Crockett, in Dallas, where, they have the worst areas that you and I walked through a little bit of when we were down there. Well, she's not from there. She's from the upscale St. Louis area. Remember the couple during COVID, that held the rifle to protect their house, or what? The really rich area? Well, apparently she's from something like that in there, which all the elite schools, and then went down to Dallas.
Wait, is she from Missouri?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. But she represents some
Dallas, Texas. Yeah, she literally moved from Missouri from the top end. She did the reverse Jefferson. We'll say that, the reverse George Jefferson.
She's moving on down
to get a district. Yes.
That's funny. Well, she may be gerrymandered out, one can hope.
I don't know. We will find out. But
really funny because Newsom wants to put it on the ballot here as a ballot initiative in November 5th. And they have an independent board that was set up by the state constitution that he wants to get rid of. The independent board is in charge of redistricting and districting. That was put in 15 years ago. I forget how many years ago. by the California citizens to deal with redistricting to prevent someone like a madman like Newsom from doing what he's attempting to do now, which is in complete violation of the California Constitution. He can't do what he's saying he's going to do, Eric. But nobody outside the state and most of the people inside the state know that. He'd have to get rid of this independent board, and he'd have to change the Constitution of the state of California to get this ballot initiative on to have the actual people vote about redistricting in November.
All right.
So it's odd that he's bluffing, huffing and puffing and bluffing over this. But apparently the guy knows no limits in his huffing, puffing, and bluffing, Eric.
Well, I think it serves him personally.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't really give a damn. I don't think Gavin Newsom cares a whit about anything he says.
Yeah.
And his huffing and puffing gets the
the
headlines. Nothing changes. It doesn't matter. But he could say, I fought. And that's the whole thing, because the Democrats right now are in a crisis. You know, you listen to like Dan Torrentine or whatever. He's like, they're just looking for anybody that'll even fight, because they see it as like everybody's just rolled over and going, and Schumer, it just says stupid statements. Gavin Newsom, at least when he's out there fighting, he's not doing it in a retarded manner like some of them who are saying like the purposeful swearing. You like how they go.
That was a talking point that went around to everyone. No, but it's so funny. Yeah. They're so transparent, because when you see them all over the country doing fill in the blank, whatever it is, they don't even realize they're making a mockery of their own talking points. They should say to themselves, don't do it all at the same time the next day. Stagger it. But they don't do that. They send out the talking points, and then everybody parrots what was sent out, thereby making a sham of a mockery of a sham of the talking points, which is really funny.
But that's my favorite part. When they're like, I say, gee, damn it, I'm gonna. You're just going, oh my God, it is.
Well, somebody else pointed out the other day that there may not be enough juice to squeeze out of these blue states in terms of additional gerrymandering. They've gerrymandered the F out of them.
No, Abbott said it.
No, but I'm saying media people here in LA are saying it. Local media people here in LA
I know
are saying about California gerrymandering. There may not be any more room.
Well, dude, Massachusetts is planning to redistrict, and they
already
have 8-0.
Yeah,
it's like
here it's down to 9%, 9 seats. So I don't know. Maybe they'll reduce it to 0 seats like Massachusetts. But
what I like though is Abbott went back on Newsom and said, "Don't worry, we have more here in Texas." So,
there's a lot of wiggle room down there.
We'll get let's see how this works out for you.
Hook them horns down there, boys. Hook them horns.
Definitely. You know what though? Whatever they're doing, whatever we're doing, we all need something to keep ourselves alert and be ready to fight the fight. And that's with some coffee. You need to have some coffee. It looks like Mark might be drinking some of our great coffee. I don't know right now, but we have 2 kinds. America's Untold Stories Supreme Breakfast Blend, and of course the Magic Bullet Blend, and that is an unreal flavor. Definitely check it out. You can hit the code right there on the screen. I recommend, but it's up to you. You know, you might want to try it before you get multiple bags, but if you get 4 bags or more, it is free shipping, which does make a big difference for this. And they also do have some flavors, other flavors if you go through it. But check out our link. It's in the description. You can scan it off the screen. I think it's great to check it out, and I appreciate it. And while I'm talking to everybody, if you could do me a favor, consider hitting like on this video.
Oh, yeah. What about that? They never do that.
You don't. And I put a survey out, and it appears.
Why they don't do it?
No, right now I did a survey saying, have you done it yet? Hopefully they are. Right. But I did another one because our numbers are really low going in, and people are not getting notifications, it appears. YouTube has been changing some formulas because even if you're subscribed to a channel or not subscribed, you may get notifications for a channel that you're not even subscribed to, but the channels you're subscribed to, you don't get a notification. So the likes and things like that really help a lot to get this out there because people aren't even getting told. And it's very frustrating.
Well, they now have the language thing that they've offered to everyone. Muy bien, gracias. Y usted, that is dubbed in.
Oh, yeah. The auto dubbing, yes.
Auto dubbing. You can't be opposed to auto dubbing.
No, I think that's fantastic.
So you admit it. You admit it right here. You're not opposed to auto dubbing.
I am not.
It may be an AI function, right, Eric? It may
Absolutely.
Be. Oh, it is. Okay. All right.
Actually,
all of a sudden, you're in favor of AI. Why don't you admit it?
Oh no, I always have mixed feelings of AI. I do more AI than anything. No, that's where AI is phenomenal. But ironically, the same AI that censors us, that says, bling, demonetized, because it's running in the background as I'm speaking. It's generating through AI, and that's doing the subtitles or the captions, which don't appear live. They actually will appear after the fact. So a lot of people say, turn on captions. Unfortunately, you got to wait for the replay because they're generating them right now.
What Eric is talking about with the auto dubbing, emails were sent out by YouTube the other day that all programming will be auto dubbed, unless you turn it off, into every language on the earth, which can only be a good thing.
Yes and no. Because
there's a no. Hold on. Now he's opposed to it.
No. I'm just saying I'm getting videos shared by YouTube or recommended by YouTube that are different languages and are obviously auto dubbed, and I'm not enjoying all of them at the same level.
Oh boy.
So it's okay. I mean, I want our word to get out, and I like the option, but
I just want to be. I want to hear myself in German and Russian and Chinese around the world. I would get a kick out of that.
You probably could do it. Just
right. I know. I
take your browser, change the language, and go.
Yeah, no, but I want someone. If you're in China right now, just dedicate your life to this. Germany, I speak some German myself.
Well, if you're in China now, you need a freaking VPN because you ain't
VPN. I know there are people there with VPNs who are.
Actually, let us know. Is there anybody from China in the audience?
Yeah.
Can you tell us? Put it in the chat.
Put it in the
comment
chat
below.
Right. I mean, there's Eastern European countries. I mean, are we going to go in Serbian? I mean, I'd love to hear these various languages. Nigerian. I mean,
well, I'm thinking like Polish, German. There's a lot of countries that do, care a lot about what we're doing, and some of it might just be they probably already know English anyway to a degree, but it might just be easier on them. Like if they want to go listen to it and not have to, watch it.
I mean, I prefer subtitles in movies to dubbing. I remember I was in Greece and they were doing dubbing, and I hadn't seen a dub movie. It was in Athens. It was on a rooftop. They had a theater in the summer where you went up to a rooftop in Athens, and they had a screen and they had popcorn and everything else. Regular theater outdoors in the summer, but they had dubbing, and I was like, and I was just like, what the fuck? I hadn't seen dubbing, and dubbing, just people at home who are not in show business. Dubbing versus subtitles is based on the literary level of a nation, the reading levels of a nation. So if the reading level of a nation is low, they dub, and if it's high, they go to subtitles, depending on where you are. That's a rule of thumb.
Another aspect too of what kind of movie it is, because for example, martial arts movies were very frequently dubbed versus read, and I think that might be because trying to read and watch action can be a bit of a
it's about literary levels. They don't give a shit what's on the screen. It's easier dubbed. You're right, but what's that?
Well, I think it's also for kids, so that could be the literary level because a lot of kids like to watch martial arts. And
I'm just telling you what I know. I'm not debating with you. I'm just telling you what I learned in show business. But all right, what else you got today for us? In your
this is a petty move, but I think it's hilarious.
What?
Trump moved both the Obama and both Bush portraits
to a hidden stairwell. Yeah, good. I mean, that's a troll job, right, Eric?
Of course, it's a troll job. Like it's admittedly petty, but it's kind of hilarious,
right?
And that's the way I see it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, what staircase is it? Staircase in the basement, or
it's not the one to heaven? I hope.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. And you just sent this like right before it came on.
What's that? Oh yeah, this guy. Oh man, this
is a frame. I mean, he could be framed as like this is the self-entitled idiot of the year.
This
You get
operates on
busted-
so many levels because when he got
Yeah.
caught, he was in the bathroom and he accepted the shame. And then
Well, he was
went home
vaping in the bathroom. And
right. For people that don't know, it was American
Yes.
Airlines flight to San Francisco out of, I think, out of Arizona or something. And he went into the bathroom, started vaping, and apparently, I assume an alarm went off because he's accusing her of using the master key to open the door, violating his privacy while he's vaping in the bathroom. And he claims to be a CEO of some company, a nonprofit president, all these different things.
25,000 Instagram,
He's going to sick his Instagram followers on this poor unnamed woman.
Well, let's look at the incident real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You were opening the door.
I don't care.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
You can keep saying you're
Yes.
sorry, but I'm here
I
now.
got
All
it.
these
Yes,
facts.
I got it. Yes.
Okay, so it'll be on you, and I
Yes.
see you're recording
That's fine.
right
You're not
now.
allowed to do that. Hey,
Please record doing that.
did you put your hands on me? She just put her hands on me.
No, she did
Yes, she
not.
did. She put her hands on me. She
You're
tried to
supposed
grab my phone.
You're not
No,
supposed to be
but
smoking
yes, but
anything.
she put her hands on me. I have a lawyer. I am a lawyer.
Well,
I am a lawyer.
smoking, you're not that very well.
Yes.
Don't you?
Yes, I'm sorry, but you do not put your hands on me. You do not put your hands on me. You do not put.
Just get the U.S. Marshals.
Notice he looks at the camera. Am I getting this? Am I in frame?
Am I getting? Yeah.
1,000 followers. I have 25,000 followers that are one
I have 25,000 followers.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Whoa!
You-
The king of Instagram.
Yes, I know. That's my bad. Yes, you did. You pulled it right over my chest. Yes, I have it on video. I was recording. So, do you want me to release this, or you want to say sorry to me right now?
This poor woman. Can you imagine what these women have to put up with
Yeah,
these
you-
mutts? I mean, you can't pay anybody enough to do this job, in my humble opinion. There are so many psychos up there. He later said he couldn't last another minute without nicotine. He was having
which is
withdrawals.
on a 2-hour flight.
Yeah, he couldn't take it. He just couldn't take it. He had to go into the bathroom and vape.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that he is on his way to be one of these people.
Let me see. Oh
Because
yeah, they get frozen.
zombie
These zombies. Let me tell you something. This is, like I said, this can happen with the new 7.0. It can happen if you take enough kratom, if you mix it with some meth, and she could care less. She's absolutely clueless. This Chinese chick, she has no idea what's going on in her own city. Look at this. There's so many of these zombies just standing there, frozen, that it kind of is like a zombie movie, Eric.
Well, that's what I was seeing in Vegas, and it's creepy, Mark.
Yeah.
This fold, and they kind of do this weird flopping thing. I was just like,
Yeah, Vegas has the mole people, by the way, who live underground. Barnes was hipping me to when we were visiting there, and he said that they live underground, and indeed they do. They're a mole because it's too hot on the surface of the earth. So there's an entire, and New York has the mole people too. New York City has an entire subculture in the subway tunnels with furniture and TVs, electricity living down below the earth. That was established in the 90s. I remember some documentarian went down and filmed the mole people in New York.
wow. Yeah, that makes sense. I think Seattle has some of that.
Yeah.
Or Portland. Which of the two, Portland or Seattle, was the city built on like another city that was underneath? And so there's like
that I don't know.
underground
I don't know.
availability. But yeah, I believe
But we here at Newsapalooza are bringing you all the news that's fit to vent.
that's right.
Yeah, on Tuesday's Newsapalooza episode, that we have too much news, so we got to keep moving, Eric. I'm sorry.
We do. Okay. Well, here's somebody I'd like to move to his other place of citizenship or into a tunnel. Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, he's worried about it. He's going to go with the O'Donnell system of getting, I didn't even know he was Italian, but he looks kind of Italian. Got an Italian citizenship. I don't know how
He
you
is
do
now.
that. He is now, and he's got an escape hatch if he's indicted by the Trump administration for crimes against humanity or something. I don't know what his crimes are other than being a propaganda minister for the Biden administration, who, by the way, it turns out that Kevin, what's the guy's name? Kevin Moore, who is Hunter Biden's attorney, his sugar daddy sugar bunny guy, Kevin, his lawyer. I don't know if you remember the pot smoking legal counsel to He's all shriveled up now. If you have a fine photo of Hunter Biden's lawyer.
Hunter's lawyer. Okay.
Hunter Biden's lawyer. It turns out that I think it's Kevin Moore. I've checked the last name. He is the guy that was the funnel that the money went through to Hunter Biden as loans from him that were never repaid. He testified before Congress when Hunter Biden was testifying. He showed up as his lawyer. It turns out Kevin.
No, that's not him.
He's got a shriveled up face. He's a lawyer for Hunter Biden. People in the chat know what I'm talking about.
But he's a younger one because this is I found his lawyer Lowell, but this guy looks older.
No. This is a guy who looks just like him. In fact, the lawyer showed up when they were filming the Hunter Biden son movie in Serbia and tried to intimidate them into not continuing with that movie. However, the point of the story is Kevin is also the attorney, oddly enough, in a story that I'm going to tell you here. Apparently, for 2 terms, the incredible South Park creators, Trey Parker and his partner, never did one parody of Joe Biden, ever. They never, ever touched Joe Biden, and now it's a feeding frenzy on Donald Trump. Well, it turns out, I found out yesterday that the Kevin, who is the lawyer for Hunter Biden, is the lawyer for Trey Parker and his partner.
Of course.
What do you mean, of course? Who would have ever connected those 2 fucking dots on the earth?
Well, because it's like it happens so often anymore. I mean, that's
they're not even in those circles that you're talking about. 2 creative guys. Here he is on the left. There he is. He looks like a regular guy. This is his crack smoking partner on the left, Kevin. I think it's Kevin Moore. But that was an AD that I used to work with. But whatever this guy's name is, Kevin on the left. Moore. What's his name?
It's Kevin Morris.
Yeah, I always get it wrong. Morris, right? Kevin Morris.
And then the guy Lowell is on the right. So
him I don't care about. The guy on the left is the attorney for Trey Parker. And that's why they have never touched Joe Biden or the laptop or anything that was wide open to parody by South Park regarding Hunter Biden. A clear free kick on goal for comedy writers went unmolested for 8 years because that douchebag is the lawyer for both Parker and his partner and Hunter Biden.
But you mean that the fearless Trey Parker and partner, fearless who make fun of everybody except
I'll tell you someone else they've never touched. Now that we're on this subject of these fearless 2 creatives, Gavin Newsom. Never done a parody on Gavin Newsom.
I believe it.
So they're obviously cherry picking who they want to go after, and now it's anybody in the Trump administration for people at home.
Oh, by the way, you can hear from Jimmy himself.
Oh, great. Oh, here she is.
A lot of people I know are thinking about where they can get citizenship. And
I do have Italian. I did get Italian citizenship.
You do?
I do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I do have that. And what's going on is as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Way worse.
It's so much worse.
It's terrible.
It's just unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I feel like it's probably even worse than he would like it to be.
I had to play that part because I love that so much. I want the Elon Musk. Remember when that New York Times reporter was talking about, everything on X is so bad, so filthy, and Elon said, "Can you name one incident? Can you name one thing?" And then you guys, it's just name one thing that's there. I wanted to do that with Jimmy Kimmel. He's like, "Oh, it's so bad. I can't even describe it. It's even worse than Trump could have wanted it."
Well, I saw what's his name, the fat guy up in Minnesota, Waltz. He was talking about this is how dictators act, and I said, Dictators don't have term limits, you fat putz.
I agree. And dictators don't have wives go opening their window as the city's burning and talk about how.
Oh, no, right. I didn't want to go after his wife. That was low hanging fruit. But I'm just saying, anytime you use that dictator analogy to Trump, he's literally on a ticking clock before he leaves office. This is the only dictator I know who took power with term limits.
Or you mean the one who walked away in 2021 and came back and ran again. That dictator who who left town and went home, and somebody else walked in.
The same dictator who is going to Alaska to meet with Putin and end this bloodbath up in Ukraine and Russia.
Let's hope.
I mean, this thing is coming to a brutal, quick end, Hunley. And it's not going to end well for Zelensky. It's not going to end well for the EU. All of the territories seized by Russia will remain in Russian-speaking hands. And every day that goes by, they're seizing more territory, which happens at the end of wars with a ticking clock till a peace treaty or a ceasefire. Everybody does this. The aggressor usually grabs as much territory as possible. Right before the ceasefire, which is what the Russians are doing right now. The ceasefire can't come fast enough for Zelensky, even though he's opposed to it. He would rather keep getting European money and keep fighting with dead men, European leaders, and counter Russian ceasefire. Yeah, their counter is to keep fighting. I've never seen a more warmongering elite class than the EU leaders who want to fight to the death with other people's lives, but with their money, and never have a ceasefire. I mean, it's really breathtaking. History will not judge them kindly if history writes this period fairly.
I just hope it actually happens. Because
it's going to happen.
Like,
it's going to happen. He's not walking
through.
He's not walking away without a deal, bro. It's definitely going to happen.
I'm assuming that because Trump is actually meeting him.
Yeah,
and I don't think Trump, because if Putin does
not going to
start attacking right after, then that's
not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen. This thing's over. Could have been over. The reason I'm mentioning it, this could have been over 4 years ago. Biden never spoke to him, never called, never had any desire for it. It really is one of the most outstanding, egregious pieces of insanity in an administration filled to the brim with insanity. The fact that they never call for ceasefire, the fact that they never call for peace talks, the fact that they never picked up the phone and spoke to each other is beyond anything in American history. You could say what you want about the crazy Biden administration, but that particular factoid rises to the top of the heap of insanity in an administration filled with insanity.
I think it's actually further than that. First off, it was intentional. There was a deal. There was a deal on the table that was amenable to Putin.
Yep.
And Boris Johnson went in
at our direction,
at our Biden's, and so
again,
blew it up. So it wasn't just like they're just stupid. Like leaving Afghanistan was insanity and stupid. This was deliberate.
I mean, Nixon and Kissinger created the madman policy, where Kissinger went out and said Nixon's a madman. This was a negotiating tactic used by Kissinger and Nixon, who received the Nobel Peace Prize, which Trump will receive at some point. It'll be very difficult to deny him the Nobel Peace Prize. I know this hurts a lot of people's hearts to hear it, but after you stop 75 wars, and I'm exaggerating for effect, in 5 days, you got to get an award. So that's what they have the Nobel Peace Prize for. But getting back to Kissinger and Nixon, Kissinger, trying to end the war with Vietnam, in the Paris peace talks, while they were fighting over the size of the table and what size it should be, kept telling them privately that Nixon was a madman who may use the nuclear weapons. He's so frustrated right now. This was a device used by Kissinger and Nixon effectively to at least end this mess. And somebody pointed out last night, Democrats start wars and Republican presidents end wars. And it goes all the way back to Lincoln, Eric, and you can use your head there to think of a few. But think of historically going all the way back to Lincoln's, when Democrats start something, a war, it turns out to be Republicans that end them.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting analogy.
I know. There's a number of them.
Oh yeah, World War. Obviously Civil War. I think it was the Southern Democrats.
How about Eisenhower ending the Truman situation in Korea?
Well, World War One. Let me see. No, Woodrow Wilson was still in. But I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting. A lot of overlap.
Yeah. But that being said, I mean, Vietnam was essentially started, the bulk of it, by LBJ, and Nixon had to pull the plug on it. So they attacked Nixon for attempting to pull the plug on it, like they're attacking Trump, trying to pull the plug on this Biden war. I mean, nobody's more responsible for this bloodbath than Joe Biden. And yet nobody points the finger at this piece of shit. His one major crime are the millions dead in Ukraine and Russia in a war that could have been averted with no attempt to stop it. That's what's so astounding about the political record of Joe Biden. No attempt. Forget about the money. The money's insane, the amount of money sent, and both parties did it. But the fact that he made no attempt to end this war is breathtaking. Breathtaking.
Again, that's why
That's why he goes into the hall of shame.
He did not want to. It was
no.
war.
I know, but I'm talking about I'm talking about not even faking it. In other words, he could have faked it and then blown it up. He didn't even attempt to do that. He could have gotten on the phone with Putin and said, Putin doesn't want to make a deal. I tried. He didn't even bother to fake it. It's outrageous.
Right. They also tried to put his top opponent in prison. So,
I
said they're drunk with power.
I'm just focusing on this war because that's what's in the news right now on the 15th, which is Friday. We'll be back here on Friday with the coverage of the news because that's the day that Trump is supposedly meeting with Putin up in Alaska.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll see what is happening now. I don't know if you saw this story coming through. This is interesting. There was a former clerk who was saying illegal immigrants are paying $200 under the table for Kentucky driver's licenses.
It sounds logical.
She reported it, so they fired her.
Oh, of course. Yeah. You got to get whistleblower status for that, honey. I mean, that's a good one.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Now,
I mean, we had a whole situation here in LA where all of these Chinese guys got busted for having a driver's license illegally with the same exact picture on them. A guy went in and got 2,000 Chinese driver's licenses, their LA driver's licenses, with the same Chinese guy photo and every single one of them.
Wow. All right. Here's some scary news.
What?
Somebody shared it with us on X, and I tracked down the story. I think it's called Pacer, but the system that holds all the court records and things like that and all the open cases got hacked, which means that witness information, addresses, all kinds of information is out there. Here it is, Pacer, which is incredibly frightening. I don't know, who hacked it or what, but that is not a good thing at all.
Well, keep in mind, these hacks are not used by the people doing the hacking. They are sold as lists on the dark web by the people who do the hacking for various prices by people who want to do the evil. And it could be defense lawyers, it could be prosecutors, it could be evildoers, it could be the mob. A lot of people would buy those lists.
There's also state actors that'll hack.
Right.
North Korea, for example, will.
But what do they do with it? What do they sell it themselves?
They sell, yeah.
All right. Well,
it is a way. It is a way for them to raise funds.
Right. And, I don't know about the state actors. My gut and the people that I've read about are usually independent cats. They could be within those states, but a lot of them are Eastern European. A lot of them are doing it for the money. Is all I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I never want to rule out state actors. And when you're talking about in this kind of thing, if you're hacking the federal court system, what are you going to do with it? Well, espionage. There are witnesses now. No, I'm saying so a state actor could very well be interested in it, like China even could be, because we are prosecuting different people in different areas.
Go ahead, play it out. Go ahead, take it further.
Let's just say witnesses can disappear and cases can.
That would be extreme. That would be extreme. But
right, ask Robert Hansen. What can happen with espionage, because he turned over a lot of information, and we.
All right, but that's that's not the hack of the jury system here. I mean, you're getting. What are you getting in there? Jurors' names. You're getting case files. You think too, or no?
You're going to get case files. You're going to get witness testimony. You're going to get the information on who the witnesses are, where they live.
Again,
some of the
same
witnesses
thing,
are not
right.
announced for the case until later on.
And what do you do with that? Let's play it out. What do? We send an agent and we threaten them.
Or they disappear.
Wow, that would be draconian. But okay.
Well, I mean, it's not like
I'm just trying to play it out. I don't know where it's going to go, but I think my gut tells me these are for sale. But
it could be.
You could be. You could be right. You could be right. Yeah, you could be right. Okay, what else you got?
Jazzy saying that hacking is a myth. It's always people. No, that's not true. But there is a.
I believe Jazz Dude. I don't know if it's a myth, but I think it's sold.
Well, social engineering is a big part of hacking, which is a lot of times people turn it over. And there are inside people who will release information true. But don't call hacking a myth. That would
no, it's not a myth. That's another story.
So, whatever.
All right, what else you got in your hopper there?
All right, you were talking about AI, so guess what?
What?
I've got a lot of AI talk.
Go ahead. So
we've got here, first off, Elon Musk is a little bit annoyed because Grok is not doing as well in the App Store rankings as he would like, which is kind of silly because it is doing well. Grok is actually trending higher than Google as a free app. That's pretty good. Okay. OpenAI ChatGPT, however, is number 1. I think Grok is like number 5 or 6. But in fairness, Google Gemini, I think, is like number 29 on the list. So I don't think he's being completely fair in terms of what he's saying there. But he wants to take this even further. And he's, of course, threatening legal action against Apple, saying this is a monopoly and they're controlling the rankings and this has to stop, blah, 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 blah. Sam Altman of OpenAI, and those people who are following AI or they know some of history, OpenAI was created by Elon Musk and Sam Altman. And over the years, their relationship severed, much like Elon Musk and Donald Trump. But anyway, Elon Musk and Sam Altman are mortal enemies at this point. And so Sam Altman has replied to Elon's accusations by saying, this is a remarkable claim given what I've heard alleged that Elon does to manipulate X to benefit himself and his own companies and harm his competitors and people he doesn't like. So he's dragging into that.
You know who I like is that other guy, Sam Anwar. I don't know if you know who that guy is. He was the accountant for his cousin, Crazy Eddie. Who went after Letitia James with a forensic audit of her mortgage stuff and started this train rolling where now, as you mentioned last week, even Adam Schiff is being mentioned by mainstream media sources as needs a lawyer for these mortgages.
I got a question about Schiff, though. It's interesting. Yeah. He has a blanket pardon.
It may not cover this type of stuff.
Well, no, but like I said, because it's a blanket pardon, I think it's interesting. I don't know. That's my question.
Yeah, I don't know either.
An interesting legal. It's an interesting legal
thing. Sam Anwar, for those who don't know, is on his own privately. He's a Democrat. He went to federal prison as part of the Crazy Eddie scandal. Crazy Eddie late night commercials in New York for years. Prices are so low it'll drive you insane with an actor, and had a appliance store or chain of appliance stores. So this guy went to prison for tax evasion, whatever. Got out, worked with the federal government on how to be a forensic auditor and find other criminals. So Sam Anwar, on his own, despite being a Democrat, was so outraged by the Trump prosecution that he began. Antar, right? Okay, Antar. What did I say? Anwar Sadat?
Yeah.
Okay. Sam Antar Sadat. Which I think is a shortened version of their lengthy name, but he on his own began to look into the finances of Letitia James and specifically mortgage fraud. And now it's come to fruition where she and fuckface Schiff are being investigated by Ed Martin, the two of them, the special prosecutor, for mortgage fraud.
Well, and the interesting thing is, from what I understand, I believe Nate told me, Schiff is a bit even more egregious. I mean, they're both bad, but I think Schiff was censored or whatever the House does when they slap your wrist and say you're doing something stupid.
That's true.
For doing it in 2011, and then he did it again. So that's
well, she really said her father was her husband to sign the mortgage down in the South while living in New York as the Attorney General. I mean, her goose may be cooked, Eric.
One can hope, but then they're also investigating her investigation on Trump in that other case.
Yes.
There's a
yes.
This is nobody's above the law, Letitia James.
Oh, this is great. I'm going to get some popcorn for this. This is going to be good. Now, the other thing with Massey, with these Massey subpoenas, those Clintons are never going to honor those subpoenas. Most of the people are going to lawyer up and tie this up in court for years. They're never going to appear in his hearings for. I guess he's going for Comer. I'm sorry,
Comer. Okay, yeah.
I always get the two confused. Comer's got the oversight committee, subpoenaed everybody on the earth, including Bill and Hillary Clinton. What I am trying to tell the audience is Bill and Hillary Clinton will never spend a day in that congressional hearing. They will and have already lawyered up and will fight this until the gates of hell are closed. So don't have your hopes up for seeing those two under oath anytime soon.
Yeah, or at least until Trump's term is over.
What Comer keeps saying is the Democrats voted for this as well as the Republicans, which is true. But sending out subpoenas does not mean that people are going to show up, as we've seen. Ask Steve Bannon about it. You don't have to show up. I guarantee you that they're not going to enforce the Steve Bannon rule on Hillary Clinton.
It'd be funny.
Oh, yeah. We'll see how. In other words, we will see how big Comer's balls are when she denies and the subpoena and refuses to show up in his hearings. It'll make or break him.
Well, it's not even only his balls, though, because all he could do was say, turn it over to the Justice Department and ask them to do it. So,
no.
I mean, it would be no skin off his nose to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Then it's on Pam Bondi. It's on Pam Bondi then,
Right. So I think if Comer is smart at all, he would just immediately say contempt of Congress, file the paper, and then put
I would
it on.
do that if I was him. I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to testify. There is no way that those two are coming in to testify about the Epstein files. That's insane. That's in some X-Files episode somewhere in someone's mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, speaking of Epstein files, it's not like anybody's going to get much.
The judge denied the release of the grand jury, which everybody knew was going to happen. Right, we kind of said that on the show. It was kind of a fait accompli for that. But that being said, she will be pardoned or released. Probably don't even need a pardon. They will say time served and release her, and she will make the rounds going after Bill Clinton on behalf of the Trump administration.
Right. However, I do want to correct it. There's a rumor going around, and I've seen multiple headlines, and somebody shared it with me too, I think. Was she cleared that she was cleared to leave on work release? No, she was not. She's locked up in the minimum security at this point. So.
It's going to change. It's going to change once the story is rehearsed. I can only point to John Dean in our own Watergate stories. Look at our own episode on how many hours they spent with John Dean rehearsing him and training him in a minimum security federal prison where he still was able to leave and do whatever he wanted. He had an office in there, folks. He never spent a day in jail in his life. And John Dean was rehearsed, and they went over the transcripts over and over and over again before he came out and testified and earned his keep. They're going to do the same thing with Maxwell.
Yeah, well, when do you think they're going to actually do it? The day Friday before Labor Day, or
it's going to be after in the fall, because she's they want to get as much out of her as possible. They're not going to hide her. They want her to go out and do a media dance to pay for her release. And that media dance, what I mean by that is fingering Bill Clinton and letting Trump off the hook and anything Epstein related, and have some press conferences and do some interviews.
All right, fair enough. I want to circle back. I didn't finish my AI corner.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The whole thing with Apple, Grok, everything is very interesting because Apple, I don't know if you're aware, in 2024 at WWDC, they announced what they called Apple Intelligence, because they can't say AI like everybody else. They have to say, like it's their own branding. And it has been a complete failure, into the point where it not only got delayed, like it wasn't coming out with the operating system that last fall, but it got delayed into this year. It's got delayed all the way to 2026 potentially. Apple's really suffering badly in that front. Tim Cook had literally an all hands briefing, and I think he's accurate that AI is bigger than the internet. What is coming down the line is bigger, and Apple is in serious trouble trying to catch up with their peers in what's going on. And I saw this come across the line. There are a few companies that are involved with AI. OpenAI, which makes ChatGPT, Claude, which is made by Anthropic, Gemini, which is Google, Meta, which is Facebook. There's also smaller players like Perplexity. Now, Perplexity is a search engine style AI, and they came out and gave an unsolicited bid or offer to buy Google's Chrome browser for $34.5 billion. Remember, the Justice Department is targeting Google to split them up, and they're owning the Chrome browser. It's an interesting maneuver if Perplexity was to get that. But the really interesting part is that Apple is so far behind with the AI and whatever they're going to do, that they're even exploring buying another company, and Perplexity could be the company that they buy, or the target to try to put them back on track. Any questions? I know you're
everything I know from you. I don't really. I just learn from you about this area.
Watch this front, though. I mean, the whole AI wars
tonight. I'm going to stay up and watch this front.
I see.
You'll tell me about the front because this is your area of expertise.
Well, there you go. All right, now this is nothing to do with that, but everybody, season's pretty much started. Tropical Storm Erin's going to become a hurricane in days, as the spaghetti models reveal. So it's that time of year. Well, this one
are you in the thing there? Is that?
Yeah, I am. But
is that you on the porch there? I see. No, it's something else.
Okay, well, if you look at the spaghetti models, if you look at the shape of our country, you see how it's carved out like that. That's literally the hurricanes carved out that area there. But this is where I live, right? I was saying right there. Yeah. And this is a pretty common path. I think Fayetteville, North Carolina is like a right around in here.
Yep.
And fortunately, this path is the most common. So it hits the land, slows down to become a tropical storm by the time it hits us, and then back out. But it's probably going to wind up out at sea. But anyway, it's just...
Well, you can see that Puerto Rico is always in the direct path of these things. Puerto Rico down there, they always get hit. Yeah.
Sometimes Bermuda, but it's what gets really wicked are when it goes across to the Gulf, comes over, circles around, and then like does a washing machine. I don't know if you've seen that before, but it's brutal.
Now, where do they get the names? They generated from AI. Is that alphabetical order or something?
Well, they've got the names listed like for years to come. Yeah, and they retire the names if it's a major storm. So like Katrina will never be used again.
Oh, it's sad.
Well,
my first one was Hurricane Donna. I don't know.
Donna was a big one. I think that might be retired.
Well, I just remember being walked home from school by the teachers, and all the children had to hold hands while we were walking through the streets. And then one by one, they dropped us off at our buildings at PS 99 in Midwood.
Well, but Donna, I think, was one of the bad storms.
Yeah.
But and also they rarely get to New York. And when they do, it's scary.
This one was scary. Yeah.
Well, tropical storm in New York can be huge because it's got all those tunnels. With the buildings, it's like these wicked wind tunnels.
Well, you're surrounded by you got two rivers. You got the Hudson and the East River on both sides, so it's surrounded by water. Manhattan itself is an island.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's. I think you sent me this. It's not exactly a hurricane, but it is. It's stormy future for Howard Stern's staffers.
Oh, prepping for the show's demise, withholding best material is future uncertain. I mean, he vows to come back, and I believe comeback will be a podcast like everyone else, where he's going to get 100% of the money instead of. I mean, he had a 20-year contract that was hundreds of millions of dollars, and it ran out. I mean, that's just the story is that Sirius paid him, and they're going to pay him out over. This is the 20th year coming up. Right. And that's the end of his contract. They're just not going to renew it. I don't think Stern is going to go home and do nothing. I think he'll get a podcast.
I'm curious what he would actually earn, though, because this is not the Howard Stern that got the Sirius deals. I mean, he was the king of all media when he got that deal.
They will sell him as the new flavor in the podcast lane. He will try to get a 5 to 10 year deal for the largest amount of money on the face of the earth, and it's subject to whoever wants to pay that.
No, I agree, but I'm just thinking, who's going to pay him? Spotify has been, had the deep pockets. They paid for Joe Rogan. Sadly, I don't think Howard Stern is at the level of Joe Rogan. Just for current relevancy.
It's an unknown. He's got incredible name recognition. And he's not in the podcast lane. Sirius was an untouchable, non-terrestrial format that you had to pay in a car to get. Right. A podcast is so wide that people who are Amish farmers will be able to listen to Howard Stern. I mean, to be honest with you, many people did not listen to Howard Stern. I'm talking about the past 10, 15 years because they didn't bother to have Sirius Radio.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not only that,
he sold out for the money. He was tired of the FCC. And on the 27th, I got, not this Wednesday, but the next Wednesday, I got Jackie the Joke Man coming on, and we're going to explore the entire Howard Stern career on What's Up with Lord Buckley. Jackie is loaded for bear. No fan of Howard's. He wasn't a fan of Howard's when he was working for Howard. I'll just tell you this. He used to sit under the desk of Howard Stern writing the entire show by hand on legal pads. And then I would meet with Jackie, and irate Jackie, after the show at the Friars Club, where Jackie would suck down drink after drink, showing me the yellow pads of the entire show that I just listened to on terrestrial radio. Jackie wrote every freaking joke, every line of that show, and hated Stern's guts for not giving him the recognition that he rightfully deserved. He was then fired and replaced by Artie years later. But Jackie will be on August 27th on What's Up with Lord Buckley, and he will explain it to you by himself. He doesn't need any prompting from me, but it'll be fun, Eric.
Were you, wasn't Gilbert there some of the time?
Oh, yeah. No, he was a frequent guest. Absolutely.
No, I meant when you guys had lunch together. I didn't know if it was with Gilbert.
Not at the Friars. No, when I would meet Jackie at the Friars Club afterwards. Gilbert wasn't there, but they would all come up to the Lampoon office and hang out. Jackie would come up afterwards, and other people just hung, But yeah, I mean, look, were there great moments in Stern's career? Absolutely. I mean, he was a king of all media for a reason. I mean, no doubt about it. But he did not do that show alone. That's all I'm saying right now.
Well, and he's also not doing that show. He hasn't done that show for a long time.
Right? No, absolutely.
He's turned into kind of a milquetoast interviewer, very woke. His original audience, which is very blue collar.
Well, it's ironic that Gore and Hillary Clinton, which he forgets, were the ones that wanted to censor him with the label restrictions of censorship.
Right, but then he brings Biden on and fawning in. Yeah, I mean,
and he endorsed Hillary Clinton.
Of course he did. Yeah,
it's insane. I mean, those were the people try to destroy him.
The last gasp of anything worthwhile he did was when he refused to turn over the tapes of Donald Trump in 2015.
Oh, I don't remember.
2016. I always credit him.
Now. Yeah,
I always credit him for not turning that over. Because they were all wanting that with, they grab them by the pee. They were like, oh, he's been on Howard Stern. We want all of those, and he refused it.
Well, there was much better comedy than Trump calling in. I mean, the Stern, Kinison, Gilbert, Troika, some of the best stuff. But Belzer was on there too. There were other people on there in the morning, but Kinison just literally coming from the club to the show with the girls. Some of the greatest media moments in radio history, obviously. And Stern's father worked in radio. I mean, he, like Larry Charles, who is finally coming on the show tomorrow, by the way, at 1:00. The father worked in media. That, for a lot of people who end up in media, the fathers end up, turns out that they worked in media as well.
Okay, you said 1:00, so the show's early tomorrow, 4:00.
Because of his schedule, I have to do it at 1 tomorrow for Larry Charles.
All right, well, we need to let everybody know. So tomorrow the show's going to be at 4:00 Eastern.
Oh yeah, 4:00 Eastern, and this is Larry's book. We finally reached a peace treaty about his schedule tomorrow. So because of tight schedule, we're going to do it for Larry at 1:00 tomorrow. 4:00 Eastern, as Eric just said.
All right, cool. Let me see. And then while we're continuing on Thursday this week, I will be interviewing Pyro John Watkins, or releasing that. And that spun out of a story that I told on here. It turns out that he was a fan of the show. And when I relayed the story to Angelique McQueen, the wife of the drummer to Great White, Adi Despro, had the pyro at his house that caused the station fire. He came out to say, no, I did Kiss's pyro. And this guy did Kiss, Pink Floyd, Michael Jackson, just about anybody you can think of. If it went boom and on the stage, he did that. So it's a really interesting interview, and we go into the station fire and what exactly did happen and everything else. If people want to check that on Thursday at 5:30 Eastern. But to continue with our talk about Kratom and whatever else, this looks
like it's in what's line. Going on now?
On TikTok, warnings are spreading about the herbal tonic Feel Free.
Feel Free. Yeah, I mean, that's highly addictive. Yeah, no, it's in a liquid form, and these kids are going in and out of the store buying this stuff nonstop. It's got...
it's Kratom.
Yeah, it's a liquid Kratom, and the kids are going crazy over it.
Oh, boy.
This guy lost his sobriety, ended up on life support. If you scroll down, you'll see a picture of him, what happened to him. These are people who are completely hooked on... There he is.
Wow.
This is this guy, John, lost his... not only did he lose his sobriety, he lost his almost lost his life from taking this stuff. And, it's Kratom that's sold in these smoke shops and head shops. And the kids underage are merely waiting outside for an adult to buy it for them. But the people who are adults are buying, as one guy says in the article, these kids are coming back 5, 6, 7 times a day.
And I was wondering about that, because if it's, how much does it cost? I mean, if it's cheap enough.
It's fairly cheap, yeah. It's fairly cheap. Yeah, he ended up drinking a case a day, this guy. It just escalated and triggered his addiction. And now they have a warning on it. It says, if you're an addict, this may re-trigger your, it's actually on the bottle now. If you're an addict, this may re-trigger your addiction. They put that on there, trying to keep the DEA at bay. But holy crap, is this stuff highly addictive.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dark. You know what? I need to lighten things up.
Okay.
How about some super chats?
Shoot yourself.
All right. Pamela Clifton saying, happy Tuesday. I renewed my membership on Friday. She's been a member for 22 months, almost 2 years. So thank you, Pamela. Ort Cloud. Hello, gents. Hello, Ort. He's been a member now for a month. Thank you. Jack White. Jack White. Pre-Bloomberg, more like according to we are change Bloomberg, like Bill Gates is a eugenist, yet Bloomberg, like Gates, needs to be investigated. Okay.
Mike sure. Bloomberg, the
I guess. That's the only Bloomberg I know. I don't know of any other. Let's see, Jack White again. What do you have here? New York, if the commie becomes mayor, could end up becoming a real life Arkham City.
Yeah.
All we need to do is seal it off, like in the game Batman Arkham City. How about Escape from New York? We'll just do that.
Yeah. But yeah, they'll be trapped in there. They'll be trapped in there. And there's, I have two minds of this thing. One is that Trump turns off federal money to the city and doesn't help it at all, which is something he's been talking about. Or they go after this guy and pull the cancer out by itself and just, indict him once he becomes mayor. For fraud on his application to become a naturalized American citizen. So that's hovering. I don't know which approach Trump is going to take.
I don't know. I don't think he even does either.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Credit. I think he decides at the time.
Yeah.
Gets a lot of information in there. Let's see, Jack White again. Schumer is a weakling. Looks like you're typing with your glasses off, or maybe you had a couple. And Pelosi is his lapdog. He follows her around. So wait, he is Pelosi's lapdog. He follows her around.
Okay. Well, he's a U.S. senator and she's a congresswoman.
Yeah, but I have heard that before. Pelosi kind of whips him around a little.
Really? Yeah. You think they have sex? No, you're saying that they are.
No, it's power play. Yeah.
I got you. Sorry.
She had more pull. Sergeant Willie, Mark, what about stats from the sheriff's office?
Again, these stats are usually not from both offices. They are stats. The sheriffs probably have their own stats, and the police department has their stats.
Yeah, I think they're different.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're all turned into the FBI at some point, but
yeah. Yeah, and the sheriff's department here in LA runs the prisons, so they're kind of busy as prison officials running the county jails and prisons.
All right, George Toth, thank you for a spot on show. More, thank you. And let me jump back to another story, and then we'll get back to the super chats in a minute. Dozens of undocumented workers fired from the LA Equestrian Center. Now, is this where Sirhan was working at one point?
No. That's funny you said that. This one's right here in Griffith Park, right by my house. This is a riding academy inside the park. But, I mean, to go in there in broad daylight and take out, and it's not a huge operation, they arrested 40 illegal aliens who were employed there. An astronomical amount at one small operation. The entire place was being employed by illegal aliens, Eric.
Well, mucking the stalls and, a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm not completely surprised that you're going to go for the cheap labor.
Well, again, they had, I think, zero or very few actual American citizens working in there.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, I grew up with a dad who raced horses, and there was a whole lot of, they were Mexicans primarily, but Mexicans, Central South America, at the track doing everything. For one, there's a lot of smaller statured people who were, riding jockeys, if not jockeys training.
Oh, yeah.
Mucking the stalls, is very common.
Yeah.
I'll just put it that way. I just didn't know if that might be the place Sirhan.
No, it's not. I mean, he was at a Del Mar racetrack, and then he was at a smaller private horse training facility run by Ricky from I Love Lucy, Desi Arnaz, who was a pro-American Cuban expat who was a Republican, as I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think his family was displaced by Fidel.
Yeah,
he was like a one. But it was similar, like under Mao, where a lot of the rich families got killed.
Except that I think he was spook adjacent. He was working with some authorities.
What's interesting though is
just like Ted Cruz's dad was.
His wife, though, she was a member of the Communist Party.
Yeah, so you got a weird
very awkward
mix of these two are very weird. They're very weird, as are, like I said, Ted Cruz and his father.
True.
Yeah.
Well, Ted himself was born in Canada, so it's kind of one of those
He was born in Canada. The dad came from Cuba. He could be seen passing out leaflets with Lee Harvey Oswald on Canal Street, claiming he didn't really know who he was and was paid $5 to do it. Whatever your cock and bull story is, this guy was spook or spook adjacent.
Well, the fun part was Trump used to troll Ted Cruz about that.
Yeah,
but he also trolled him about the Zodiac, which was a classic.
Up here momentarily, but while Hunley is frozen. Oh, now he's back. Okay.
No,
I think you froze for a second.
Oh, okay. Remember when Trump was trolling him as Zodiac?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was classic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Because people were actually biting, and it's like, he wasn't born, you dummies. It couldn't have been him.
Well, he ends up in the oil business anyway, Ted Cruz's dad, which is kind of odd.
Yeah, okay. Well, just like George H.W. or the Bush family.
Mm-hmm.
People will probably... We get criticisms for not talking enough about Bush.
I don't know enough about him to criticize him. So, I mean, in regards to the JFK thing, I've never really seen anything that's relevant. I mean, you could put Eisenhower in there, too, for that matter. I guess maybe he was a Republican who was involved.
Maybe. All right, I think you sent me this. So the high-speed train in LA is a failure in its own state. So we're talking about doing it nationally?
Okay, so this is two different things. This is on existing track. This, in other words, this high-speed train would be 6 stops or 8 stops nationally from New York to LA on existing track that already happened. So they wouldn't be building anything here. The fact of the matter that came up in my household is, who's going to get on this thing for 72 hours to go from New York to LA? I just find the amount of time to be insane.
I don't know. Is Alan in the chat? Alan likes the train.
Has already bought a ticket from upstate New York. But the reality of it is 72 hours, Eric, from New York to LA. Who's got 72 hours to waste on a train? That's not a speeding bullet.
No, it depends on, I guess, how much time they have on their hands, how they feel about flying, and if they have good communications.
They're talking about this for these upcoming events, the World Cup and the Olympics, as a tourist thing, where you get off at these 8 key stops, more than Americans using it.
To have a chance to see the country.
Yeah. And it may be worth it for a trip, you know.
Well, and if they do it right, like let's say they make it upscale, it could be like a cruise ship. Because I mean, a lot of the cruise ship is traveling time, and if they have nice amenities and definitely people can work or they can do whatever they're doing while they're on there.
72 hours.
I don't know. It might have gorgeous sleeping cars.
72 hours. I would lose my fucking mind. You're talking about 3 or 4 days aboard this vessel. Well, look, it'll be fun. I'm going to do it.
Okay. So you're complaining and now you're going to do it. Well,
right. Yeah, look, that's the way I am. I try to find all the downside and then I go, fuck it. Let me do it. It might be fun.
Okay. Well, there we go.
I'm going to take it the other way, though, and probably fly home.
Fair enough. Well, unfortunately, you know what is not fun?
What?
Being an 11-year-old girl and being attacked by a mountain lion.
Oh, happens all the time. The only reason I gave this to you is just this is another one of these cases. She was feeding the chickens out in Malibu, because that's what people do when you live in Malibu. You have to go out and feed the chickens. So the mountain lion was hungry and took a piece of her arm out instead of the chickens. And this particular thing is interesting because they worship nature instead of God here. And to them, the animal life is more important than the life of these children. Every year, we have a mountain lion that will kidnap a Mexican infant from a picnic. You know, will just swoop down, take a Mexican baby, and go back. It happens all the time. This one they hunted down and killed, which is rare because normally they just go, "Oh, we can't just kill it," you know. But this time they killed the mountain lion.
I thought you had to because
no.
Because in general, we're not naturally part of their food group, but if they cross over, you know, like bears.
Right.
You know, that's why I say don't feed the bears. Don't screw with the bears because.
Well, she wasn't feeding it. It pounced on her because she was feeding the chickens. And did we cover this story last week where you were asked to bring food to the zoo for the animals?
Yes, we did. I brought that on up. So,
dude, that was so dark.
That was in Netherlands, I think.
The Netherlands?
Yeah, I think it might have been Holland somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, they have created an environment with, I'll only tell you this because I mentioned it before. They have built a bridge over the 101, which is a U.S. highway in Calabasas for the mountain lions to cross over with their own. They have brought in Hollywood greenery, guys, to make it look like their natural habitat and prevent the homeless from getting up in there and living there, which I predict the homeless are going to do. Then it's going to be the homeless versus the mountain lions. And I don't know who exactly to root for in that battle to the death, because the homeless are going to get up in there and the mountain lions are supposed to use it intuitively to cross over the 101 to get to the other side of the Santa Monica Mountains. The point of the matter is homeless are dying in the streets, but they found millions and millions of dollars to build an animal overpass over a U.S. highway just for animals.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. And Newsom was there for the ribbon cutting ceremony, by the way.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Of course he was. Okay. People in the chat are saying it could have been Denmark. It might have been Denmark that had the zoo. I don't remember.
Yeah.
For some reason, I mix them up, but I will not deny it. Speaking of animals and execution, though, we didn't do a lot of coverage on, but I think this actually helped Trump, because this happened a week before the election in New York. They executed Peanut the squirrel.
Yeah, this is dark.
And another one, I don't know, it was a fox, but there was the raccoon, Fred.
Yeah.
Executed both of them. So
yeah,
very interesting. I could see, because Peanut the squirrel was a bit of an internet celebrity, a lot of money was being made off those videos and whatnot of the squirrel. So $10 million for...
There's going to be a settlement in this case. I don't know if it's going to be $10 million, but somebody's going to pay to play with the squirrel. I mean, that, Peanut didn't deserve to die, Eric.
I totally agree.
For everything he did. Yeah, I believe somebody's got to pay. Which will be the state, because he was executed by the state.
Well, the sad thing is that they wanted to do it. They went in with the idea and they executed them as fast as possible. It wasn't like they were sitting in a cage and there was a big drawn out court fight. Oh, hell no. They got him in there and they just killed him immediately.
Yeah, I mean, one of the squirrels that was killed ordered the last meal from Red Lobster. I thought that was inventive.
Oh, wow. Anyway, I just literally ran into this story, which kind of goes with our Boston story and the other things. Safe injection site brings daytime public sex to East Harlem.
Woohoo!
Getting my own porno show.
There was a French guy who
God.
Oh yeah, that's fun. Yeah, look at this. There's my old agent from William Morris. There was a guy who came from France, and he had spoken before the city council in New York. He had designed a foolproof urban toilet that was a tube that the electronics, the door opened, it was self-cleaning. You went in, the door closed, this light came on, cleaned everything, and he convinced the city council in New York to allow him for free, just for the ads on the outside, to install them around the city. And they installed them, I think, like 3 or 4 places, high traffic, like Times Square, 125th Street, 59th Street, and maybe a 4th place. They were completely destroyed between weeks, in a few weeks, he flipped out. He just said, this was foolproof. I don't know what these people are animals. And he went back to Paris defeated so quickly. He had sold the city and was convinced himself that these things were foolproof, that no man could beat the system of the portable toilets in New York. And they were destroyed. They jacked the door open. They started doing drugs in there. They had sex in there. And he literally went back to Paris weeping with his toilets in tow.
Well, he tried.
Every attempt to civilize New York with toilets in the streets, whatever device. Every New Yorker knew that this guy was going to fail. Everybody, including the city council. But he begged and he groveled and he said, I just want the ad revenue. I will put these in. I will be responsible for their maintenance. And they said, all right, knock yourself out. Lasted like 3 weeks and he was done. Went back to Paris.
Wow. That is sad. All right. Well, while we're talking about animal problems in New York, you sent me this. Bunnies abandoned in Brooklyn Park after Anna Delvey photo shoot. Now, what was Anna Delvey famous for again?
She was an internet scammer, Eric, who went to jail. Okay. She scammed people out of money I think she was the phony German heiress, if I remember correctly. There's a photo of her there modeling some ankle wear that you may. There it is. Look, she's still got an ankle bracelet on.
Yep.
Part of her probation. But apparently she did a photo shoot with these bunnies and they just flung the bunnies in the park after the photo shoot was over. They just threw them away.
Wow. Oh, was she a nanny? Okay, that sounds right.
I don't know. If you scroll down, you'll see she's a fake heiress
right.
Who is scamming banks and businesses. She wasn't an au pair. She was claiming to be a German heiress, I think.
Mm.
But she's back doing the similar stuff with influencers as an influencer.
Wow. I'm sure she'll do well. I'm sure she'll do well. It's been a while since I've heard her name. So
all right, me too. But the Bunnygate thing is going to put her back in jail, I think.
All right. Fine. Go in there. Yeah, I couldn't have a nicer person.
Right.
All right. I hate talking about these subjects, but
what?
Well, we've got the journalist who got killed, and
well, you say journalist. That's a pretty loose description.
I said
there should be quotation marks on that.
Okay,
bro.
well, I thought I said it with my voice, but whatever.
Right.
We've got there was a controversy about Anas al-Sharif. There's a claim that he was not only this guy here, was not only friendly with Hamas, but they're saying actually a Hamas leader.
Yeah,
like he was in the ranks.
There's videos of him directing them during the hostage stuff. I mean, look, is it so hard to believe that slapping the name press onto a vest is too difficult for them to do? Are they morally above that? I mean, give me a break.
Well, I know. I mean, he did report for Al Jazeera.
Yeah,
he had a paycheck coming from them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, do you have any more on that? Because I haven't.
Totally fraudulent journalist.
All right. Let's see. We have more super chats came in, so let me get that because it's backing up.
Go ahead.
Jack White is saying that there are tunnel people.
Yes.
In New York and Vegas. I wonder if they're being controlled by the mole.
Jack
man
White's got this one theme about comic book characters and movie. I think he lives in a parallel universe, Jack White, that's not above ground like the rest of us. Every reference he's ever made.
A lot of comic book. A lot of
it's I don't know what that is. Is that some sort of like, comic autism or something? Is it catharsis or comic autism? Or is it even a thing? I don't even know what it is.
I don't know. I think that he probably is a fan of like Geeks and Gamers and some of the. There's a little bit of crossover with I think it's Friday Night Tights. I've never seen it, but it's like some of the cultural stuff. That there is a crossover of some of it.
Okay, I like Nerdrotic.
Yeah, Nerdrotic. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I watch
Nerdrotic.
Yeah.
Vexing Sobriquet. Zombies are easier to store and keep track of. Oh, that's true. If I recall, Nerdrotic, I think he's a recovering addict, but I think he also went to prison for a while and then came out and has turned his life around. I don't remember the whole story. Dr. Evil 814 has been a member for 24 months, and he sent us $24 to celebrate. So
it's $1 a month,
Dr. Evil. I appreciate that very much. Well, he's a member, so it's more than $1 a month.
Yeah,
he's been paying the whole time. Mike Schaefer, Mark. Historically, the aggressor usually needs 5 times the number of troops to take a territory than to defend it.
The aggressor needs 5 times the number of troops
to take a
territory than to defend it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay,
because people who are local can scamper. They know where to hide. They can be, hidden by natives. Like,
okay,
or they eventually can't take it. I mean, like Vietnam, so they just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, that didn't work. We had 5 times the number there, but
Jack White again. Don't forget about the Biden's F up in the Middle East with the botched withdrawal because
he
knew absolutely nothing about Asian politics.
I completely agree with Jack, but nothing rises above the bloodbath in the Ukraine and Russia. These are all major fuck ups. I am just talking about literally World War III happening on his watch in a meat grinder war with 1.5 million dead people and not one attempt to stop it. That has to give you a special place in hell. I mean, these other things were clearly fuck ups and alone would have tarnished his administration. But this war on his watch without any attempt to stop it, I'm sorry, that puts you in another category beyond anything we've had in American history.
Well, I agree too. I agree, but I'm saying especially because it's not a fuck up. It's a deliberate thing. That's what's monstrous.
Again, I'm not arguing with you. Again, I am agreeing with you. I'm just saying that this thing by itself is the most egregious thing of any administration in American history.
Well, I don't know. Jack White again. Basically, in the Middle East, other parts of Asia, if you make an agreement, you have to stick to it. So Trump originally negotiated to be out of the Middle East by May 1st.
I don't know.
He did negotiate it.
You're talking about the Abraham Accords, or
no? He's talking about Afghanistan. Then Biden, when he got pushed that withdrawal date back to September.
Right.
And that was a massive slap in the face of the tribal land. The tribal lands that Trump made the agreement with, and the Taliban, used that as propaganda. All of that is true.
All of that is true. I'm just saying it doesn't rise to the level of what happened in us funding trillions of dollars in a bloodbath with no attempt to stop it.
I guess to get the tribal lands to back
lords. What do you keep saying lands? It's lords.
What?
Tribal lords.
Sorry, I'm okay.
You just keep saying lands.
All right, well, I got to give you some work. Dr. Evil 814. How about those wildfires in Nova Scotia?
Look, the only thing I care about Nova Scotia is Nova Scotia locks, and as they said with what's his name?
Bagels and locks.
Yeah, Nova Scotia locks. In case the people in the chat have heard of Nova Scotia locks, raise your hands.
I'm asking you, genuine. Is this like bagels
locks.
and locks? Okay.
Yeah, no, but there's there's belly locks. There's all different kinds of locks. Nova Scotia locks is probably the best in the world.
All right. Let's see. Al Gonzalez. Eric, enjoyed yesterday's show with Carl Denaro. I know detectives who worked the Son of Sam case, and they don't think Berkowitz acted alone. Mark can't wait for Jackie. It'll be epic.
I can wait. I mean, he can't wait, Al Gonzalez, but I can wait.
And Al, send give me a reference. I think you got my email. I might be cool to talk to one. Jack White. I met Schumer is Pelosi's loyal little lapdog. He has no testosterone to speak.
Well, he may be a homosexual. I'm not sure. Is there a Mrs. Schumer?
I don't know, but there is an
other than his mother. I mean, look at Pelosi's wife. Look at Pelosi's husband. He was hit in the head with a hammer by a male prostitute who was sent to jail for the rest of his life for hitting him in the head with a hammer. That guy should be pardoned by Trump. The hammer killer.
No, he shouldn't be pardoned.
Yes, he should. Absolutely. It was an insane. He was sentenced like 20 to life or something.
Okay, but you don't pardon the guy.
You got to pardon the guy.
Whatever. She could commute a sentence, but he does need to serve time. He did assault in front of the cops. I mean,
tell me an equal sentence for a situation like that. An equal sentence on the face of the earth.
Well, okay. What sentence do you have? You're going to say, pardon, the guy hasn't even been in for 2 years. Do you think he should be in for 5 years? I think, maybe.
I think he should have been put on probation. The guy was
for attempted murder.
It wasn't attempted murder, Eric. That's the whole point of the case. They said that they railroaded the guy.
Okay, we saw 2 different pieces of video, but he did strike the guy with the hammer in front of the cops. You can watch a video. The head was split open. What do you call that?
I don't know
what
you
call it.
But
Love
if
tap.
You had a defense lawyer who could actually do something for this guy and not be a Pelosi attempted assassination as they spun it in the media, tainting the jury pool. I think he might have had a fairer trial. But maybe I'm fucking crazy.
I don't know. But and by the way, whoever's saying it's a state crime, I don't know if it's a state crime. I think it could be federal because the Capitol Police and everything were involved.
He was railroaded. He was railroaded. Free the hammer killer.
Whatever, Mark. You know, man. Jack White. Other reasons for the errors in that super chat are 1, YouTube's wacky censorship, and the fact that I'm dyslexic. Okay.
All right, we'll read it backwards then. We'll read it the other way.
No way. I'm struggling now with the words. So
go get him, Jack. Don't let
K-Dog.
intimidate you.
Greetings, gentlemen. Pete belongs in Hall of Fame.
In the NFL Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, Pete Rose in the NFL, I'm guessing. Okay. Jack White, if they can make the train cheaper than taking an airplane, then that could be a way to attract business.
I for some reason, I doubt it's going to be cheaper than an airplane. Call me crazy, but
yeah, I think they have to go luxury in order to pull it off.
Right.
But they can make it cheaper than first class airplane, but
maybe
a better class than coach. You know,
right. Oh, let me ask you this: it's got 8 stops. How long do you have to get back on the train?
I don't know if there's more than one
come
train.
on, Hunley.
Well, no. You could do something like stopovers. Like you could say, hey, you get off this train, but the next one coming through, you just continue your journey.
Where do you stay? What do you mean? They're coming through every couple of hours?
I don't know how many trains there are or whatever. You could have a partner.
Play it out. You could figure this out.
Okay, well, here. This is what I'm doing with England. They could do something similar. I'm flying via Iceland, and they have a deal where you can say it's a stopover. So instead of having a layover, I'm staying for 2 extra days in Iceland and then picking up the next plane and going out. And I could stay in the plane. They could do something like that where on those 8 stops or one of those stops, you can say, okay, well, I'll pick up the train tomorrow when it's going through. If there's
all right,
say 3 or 4 trains,
stay somewhere then, right?
Yeah, you would. I mean, but that could be done.
Very complicated. Very complicated.
All right. Jack,
I think they have 20 minutes and then they got to get back on the train.
That's well, how long? It's 72 hours.
Yeah, because otherwise, how do you make it in 72 hours?
Well, it's got to be more than 20 minutes. It's got to be a couple hours. But
okay. Well,
no, because the train is running 24 hours a day, and I've driven across the country.
It's 3 days. It takes 3 days, 2.5, 3 days.
Right, but that's because you stop and you stay the night at hotel.
Well, they're stopping 8 stops. They're crowing about these 8 stops. My question is, what are you going to do there?
Well, I know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the answer. I'm just spitballing it with you. Clearly, you've given this absolutely no thought.
You were correct. That's why we do this.
Have I.
We're doing it live. We're like Bill Riley. We're like Bill Riley. Do it live. Damn it. Just do it live.
We're just going. I'm just thinking it through now.
No, you're late. Okay, well, you're here though. It counts. All right, Jack White. Wait, wouldn't that make the Lions racist? And isn't being racist in California the worst crime you could have ever committed?
Well, we had P24. P24 was the number assigned to this mountain lion. And they made T-shirts, they made hats, they made an entire swag civilization to support P24. P24 was killed, euthanized, I guess would be the word, animalized. What's the word when you kill an animal? It must be like
euthanized.
Is it euthanized for animals? That doesn't sound right, Eric. But anyway, they put down P24 because they did away with rat poison, because the P24 was eating rats that had eaten rat poison and was molting. So now LA is overrun by rats because they decided that rats needed to live, not because they loved rats. It's because the mountain lions were eating the rats that had eaten the rat poison and were dying because of it. So they did away with rat poison. Explain that one in a modern American city or even London.
Yeah. Not logical.
Because of P24. The reason I mention this, the most celebrity related mountain lion in history is P24.
Wow. I don't know.
I think he was on the cover of Time magazine at one point. He was photographed. They have these cameras up in the mountains that are triggered by them tripping. The sensitive. They have a light or a laser that's tripped, and amazing photographs of P-24 in the mountains. And I think a couple of them ended up on major magazine covers.
Okay, yeah, I'm still thinking it's euthanized. I was just looking.
It's not. It's another word.
I know that there's
an animal word for euthanized.
Well, I'm looking to the chat because usually the chat's
those people are jerking each other off. Forget about them. It's necronotized or something, or necro.
Oh, okay.
It's a necro thing.
No, that's a different thing though. That's
okay.
So I put hunted. That's funny. Yeah, nothing's coming through, but
okay.
Jack White, one of Doomcock's pop culture breakdown panelists, Gary's wife runs a rabbit rescue. New York could send the discarded rabbits there
for a rabbitectomy. I mean, look, they escaped into the park on their own. Maybe they could survive on their wits for a while, but the rats are going to get them. That's what I was trying to say. The rats in New York are bigger than those bunnies, and the bunnies are gone.
Those rats that I saw looked as big as my damn cat.
They're as big as that cat. There are rats in New York, and New Yorkers know what I'm talking about. Al knows about it because one of them almost got him. It jumped on him on a subway, got his neck, started biting Al. He had to shoot it off with his gun at one point in his early career. And he was brought up on charges for discharge of a firearm. But he claimed that a rat had dropped down on him from a tree.
Wow.
Which is possible.
Perhaps you could move one of the mountain lions to New York because it would eat very well.
Yeah.
That would be about the right size, right?
It's insane. I mean, Griffith Park is the Central Park of LA. And unlike Central Park, which does not have mountain lions in it, we have mountain lions in here in Griffith Park.
You were thinking necropsy, which is autopsy for animals.
That's what I thought of. Yeah.
Well, you said euthanasia. They took it out, killed it. They're already dead if you have a necropsy. A necropsy is an autopsy for animals.
Something with necro in it. I'm not Funkin' Wagnalls, Eric.
Okay.
I knew it had necro as a prefix.
Okay. All right, Jack White. I have actually read comics in the past. I read Batman, the Teen Titans, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Green Lantern, X-Men, to name a few.
I think there's more, Jack White. I think there's more comics than you're letting on.
I don't need to hear all of them.
No. I think there's more, Jack.
All right, Elwood Bryant has been a member for 30 months. Talking about throwing down 2.5 years.
Wow.
Finally catching a live show because of work. Well, you know what? Thank you for watching on replay. I do appreciate that.
Of course, this is Kobe Bryant's half brother. Big fan of the show.
Well, and thank you, everybody. You know, whenever you're watching this, you don't have to watch it live. We're happy to have you whenever you can. I get it. Jack White again. I also grew up watching Batman, the animated series, Superman, the animated series, Justice League, Static Shock, and Batman Beyond. Yes, I'm going to assume that if you look at the show The Big Bang Theory and the comic book shop, you might have similar tastes. I'm just guessing.
Well, there are people who are just dedicated to Batman, like Jack White, whose entire life revolves around one superhero who has no
hold on.
Has
and
no
the 90s
superpowers.
X-Men animated series. So no, he has range, Mark.
No. I know he has range, but his complete obsession with Batman, there's nobody who goes full animated with any of these things. I mean, obviously he likes the X-Men animated series, which many people do, but his obsession with Batman is bizarre because, as most people know, Batman has no superpowers whatsoever.
And
this drives Jack White crazy that Batman is a mere mortal who somehow, jumps off of buildings and, kind of glides down and does what he does with that batarang. Jack, have you ever seen the batarang? That's the boomerang that Batman uses.
Oh, you're feeding him. You're egging him.
No, I know my Batman. Don't look. I know Batman too, but I don't put all my eggs in one particular caped hero basket. There are other superheroes who actually have superpowers.
Yeah, but that's what people like about Batman is that he doesn't.
That's another world.
Aspire to be that.
It's another world. He couldn't be in the Legion of Superheroes. That's for sure.
Elwood Bryant. In Arizona, they've got a similar boondoggle. They're trying to get a passenger train going between Phoenix and Tucson.
Really? That's
that
a
would
short
make
distance.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that short. I mean, it's a 2-hour drive.
Okay. So how many people are going to take? What do you do when you get out of that train? It's 117 and you're on foot trying to survive.
Well, they have these things called stations.
Yeah, and you go into the station. Then how do you get from the station
somebody
to the?
picks you up, and then you go get in the
you're
car
living
and
in
you
a
ride
fantasy
wherever
world.
you're going to go.
No, come on. What's the point of getting in the train in the desert? You got to get out. It's 117. There's an old lady. She's not going to survive a day. It's too hot for a train. I mean, you're taking it back to
too hot for a train.
With Robert Gordon. Was that not Robert Gordon? Robert Gordon was the rockabilly guy. Robert Conrad and Artemis Gordon. It was Artemis Gordon and Robert Conrad.
Right. Okay.
That was fun because there was a train in the desert. Oh, look, it's Jack. He's back with something.
I know, shocking. The other thing they could do is make it so you can sleep on the train in a sleeper car to cut down on travel.
Assuming they have.
Well, I'm assuming there'll be sleeper cars. That's why I say going upscale and luxury.
There's got to be sleeper cars. It's 3 nights, bro. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Stay up all night doing meth, running up and down the train with your pants off?
Exactly. And you can also have like really good dining. You know, people might like that.
I'm assuming
they're chef on board. I would go, up there.
There is a train right now that does this, by the way. There is you pick it up in Chicago. You take the train from, I want to say Albany, and somehow you get to Chicago, and from Chicago to LA. There is that train.
All right. And we got Al.
Super Chief or something.
Mark, just like Butler, no warning shots allowed. LOL.
He's talking about when he was attacked.
Story.
When he was attacked by the rats. Yeah, I mean that. Somehow Al responded quickly because of his training at NYPD. He was able to respond to being fiercely attacked by a rodent.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be shooting at it. I think I'd be beating the
Well, he tried that at first, but again, sometimes you have to resort to firearms.
All right, Jack White, and that's not including the numerous anime series I have watched and the numerous manga I have read. Okay, Jack.
A lot of people don't go for the animated series, is what I was half joking about. As for manga, that's really a bridge too far.
Well, manga has range. That definitely has range. All right, so we got a couple more stories in here, and then we'll shift over to locals. This one you sent, I don't know what it's about. This is the most attractive hobby a man can have, according to women.
Oh, I did this with someone the other night, and you'll never guess what the most attractive thing is.
I thought you would just fill it in for me.
Well, there's all different things here. There's the top 5. Hold on. If you find the spot, there's like 4 or 5. What does that say right there?
Reading foreign languages.
Oh, you went right to number 1, Hunley. I was going to build it up a little bit. Thank you. Okay. Reading is number 1, but there were 5 on top that I found to be interesting.
Woodworking makes sense.
Woodworking, cooking, which is obvious.
That makes sense.
Learning a foreign language, that was the top. But on the bottom, interestingly enough, they did not want you watching computer games. Was really at the bottom. They did not like that.
Least attractive.
These are the least attractive. Look at the bottom.
Jack White comic books is down the list.
Is not going to have a Mrs. White for the next 65 years. Cosplay is number 2. I mean, number 2 is insane. Number 3,
Manosphere.
4 is drinking. Number 5 is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene is number 5 for some reason.
Is that really her?
No. Makeup is like number 7. That's for you to know and me to find out. Look at the rest of them. Look at porn down at the bottom is number 3 from the bottom. And then cigars. That's right. They don't like cigars or going out to nightclubs unless it's some dating thing.
Yeah, you know what's crazy though is that comic books is less attractive than porn.
Because there's a lot of women porn, that cuts both ways these days. But comic books is such a nerdy teen boy, what we call a Jack Whiteism thing.
Ow! Jack White's funny.
Look, I do it too. No, I do it too. They call it graphic novels now for some reason. but it's still a comic book. They just changed the name. Jack White is referring to graphic novels. He's not really a comic book guy, I think. But yeah, this is an interesting breakdown of the percentages.
Well, comic books and cosplay go right together. That makes sense.
Right. No, some of them are linked pretty closely, but the number one thing they love is a guy who reads books. And that's all I do 24/7.
There you go. You're the super duper.
There I am. There's an actual photo of me doing it. Yeah, reading is number one. And I speak a couple of foreign languages, but I don't care about that. But reading,
what languages
you know what it is? I think it's safe.
Hold on. What languages?
German.
Okay. And the other?
English.
Okay.
Oh, you mean other than that? Oh, also also Hebrew. Reading Hebrew, you have to get bar mitzvah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you have to read Hebrew. You have to do a half Torah. You have to do an entire thing singing before an audience that's heckling you. If you came from my neighborhood, because we had so many bar mitzvahs, we had to do 3 a day when everybody turned 13. So the other kids are heckling you while you're doing yours. It's a rough room.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Maybe with your skills, you can attract this OnlyFans star with 2 vaginas.
Let me tell you something. You shouldn't have given away the double vagina thing because I had something to tease that out. But yeah, she
it's a headline, dude.
There's a way to do it. That's funny. But now,
no, dude, I couldn't get past that because when you sent it to me, I could not get past the headline. It's like the rest of it just went away. I was like,
that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. But I mean, she tried at first not to be an OnlyFans star, but she tried to not sell it. She was really just like playing it down. But so many people saw it in her videos that she began to switch her marketing around to the 2 vagina thing.
How would you see? Never mind. You know what? I'll just stick with the headline.
Yeah, no, I mean, in other words, she wasn't promoting the fact because there. Just so you know, there are people on OnlyFans, I understand, who have 3 breasts. They have other oddities on OnlyFans. She had this biological birth oddity that she wasn't exploiting originally. And then she said, fuck it. Now she's pulling down $500,000 a year with the 2 vaginas. She's already made $400,000.
So that's $250 per.
Well, she doesn't split it between the 2 vaginas. She just keeps the entire thing. But she's already taken in $400,000 this year, and we're only in August, for the 2 vaginas. Annie Charlotte, reveals her stunning 20. The earnings are insane. And dude, and she gets into details about people who just tip her $10,000 to have a look at the 2 vaginas for a couple minutes each day. Yeah, it's a whole world out there, Eric.
Okay. That's nice. That's nice. Oh, boy. Yeah. Jack is single-handedly filling up the... no. Let's see. More super chats. JS. Thanks, guys, for all you do. Mark, you are on fire today with the humor. Very funny. Eric, I appreciate you keep the show running and smooth. Keep getting along. See, I'm not funny, but I'm keeping it smooth.
Yeah, no, look, you have to have a straight man. I mean, it's so funny because Dean Martin was a great straight man to Jerry Lewis, and Bud Abbott and was a fantastic straight man to Lou Costello. Interestingly enough, the Smothers brothers, Tommy Smothers, who portrayed the less intelligent of the 2 brothers, was actually the brilliant. He was actually the manager and everything else, the brains behind the whole thing of those 2 brothers.
Well, isn't that kind of like the Beatles? I mean, if we go musically, that John Lennon was far lazier than Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney studied far more genres of music.
There's a reason for that, and it's called heroin. But other than
that, well, I'm just saying.
Paul just smoked pot, but John was a heroin addict for 25 years.
All right.
As was Yoko, by the way, who is still a heroin addict, as
allegedly.
Is her son. Allegedly, yeah, sure.
Oh, I'm going to say it because I am doing the show. Jack White, the train can also provide blackjack and hookers.
You know what? Then you're getting into the Wild Wild West with Robert Conrad. You have a train. You know, you could have people dressed up in period costumes and go on board the train for all that's worth. You know, Jack White, you could go on board and reenact the Wild Wild West episode of your choice with that midget. What's his name? Dunn. who was one of the arch nemesises of Robert Conrad on the Wild Wild West. I forget his name. Maybe people in the chat remember the name of the
Nemesi?
Nemesises or Nemesi, whatever he was.
I don't know. I'm asking.
There was that midget.
All right, Excidius. F trains and the horse they rode in on. Leanne Russell.
Leon Russell said that?
Excidius always says something about Leanne Russell. So I
am one of the biggest fans. When the first rock concert I ever saw in Nassau Coliseum, Leon Russell. I got fired from working in the Waldbaum's Deli because I told the boss, I took off my apron. I told him to go fuck himself. And I went, and he said, if you go to that concert, if you take off that apron, you're fired. And I took off the apron. I threw it on the floor. I said, see you later. And went to see Leon Russell at Nassau Coliseum.
All right, Big Bill 767. My favorite superhero is William Catt, the greatest American hero. Just like your show, he has great powers, but no instruction manual.
Yeah, I don't understand these superheroes that have no superpowers. I mean, that's where I draw the line. As I said to Eric on numerous episodes, Bouncing Boy kept getting kicked in and out of the Legion of Superheroes because he had a superpower that they debated was practical to actually dealing with criminals, and he would turn into a bouncing ball and he would knock over criminals like a bowling ball as his superpower. And they go, nah, not so good. And they occasionally he was in, and what's his name knows this. Jack White knows all about Bouncing Boy. And don't deny that you do, Jack, because I know you do. And he was in and out of the Legion of Superheroes on numerous occasions.
All right. Jack White, manga and anime have range. Definitely you have action series, you have superpower series, you have romantic series, you have comedy series.
Okay. What is it, all Japanese though, Jack, or what? You talking about Japanese stuff?
I don't know. Jack White again, the thing about comics and graphic novels is that just like video games matured with their audiences.
What do you call video games now? Video games. Was it got another name? I mean,
no, I think he's talking about the
animated.
levels.
Oh, levels, right.
This one is JS. You should use the charts to understand women. That'll help your cause. Not that we are all a bit nutty. I think
the chart said something is the number one thing that attracts women is the number one thing that I do. Not because of that. It's just my thing of reading. And I was surprised to see that reading books is the number one thing that attracts women. I was stunned by that. I didn't say anybody was nutty. I'm just saying I didn't know.
I'm not completely.
Reading was number one.
I'm not surprised by that because
I would think doing the dishes would be number one.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's more of a marker of what kind of person they are. A person who's reading could be perceived as thoughtful.
Could be, but they could be reading porno.
Well, the porno's on the list too, Mark.
Way down as something negative.
But it was the same, so its own category.
I think it depends what you're reading. If you're reading Hustler magazine, she might not be too happy.
All right, you'll be shocked to know. Jack White. P.S. I'm also a huge gamer.
No, Jack, tell me about the first time you did meth, because that's what I'm really interested in. And don't deny that you haven't done meth, because I find that hard to believe.
All right, Jack White. They matured with their audiences, I meant. Yes. And that's what I was saying. Different levels. Jack White again. And I don't collect graphic novels. I collect omnibuses.
What's an omnibus?
A collection, I think, like a
collection of city buses.
I think it's a collection of magazines or whatever, like the omnibuses.
I thought an omnibus was a guy who was handpicked by the government to oversee a certain area of the government.
That's an you think about
ombudsman.
And that's for a newspaper to dictate whether they're writing or following their own policy.
But that's not an omnibus. An omnibus bill. No, what's an omnibus bill?
An omnibus bill is a collection of multiple acts or multiple things. So when you roll it in together, it's like a bunch of things. So
all right. So it's got nothing to do with a bus. It's got nothing to do with bus or the magazine Omni that was put out by Penthouse in the 70s and 80s. Omni, Bob Guccione's girlfriend put it out. She became his wife. She put it out, and it was a science magazine.
All right. Well, Jack's setting you straight here. Batman is a member of the Justice League. along with Superman.
Again, I didn't
Lantern,
say
and
the Justice League, Jack. If you take the coke out of your ears, I said Legion of Superheroes.
All right. Well, you know what? We are going to be shifting over to locals. And I know that everybody on locals is eager to hear more comic book talk.
Well, maybe Jack can come over with us and we'll discuss.
Hey, Jack should come over because Jack
Action
contributed a
comic books.
lot. There's a link in the description. Come on by. Everybody come on by. And we will see. Hold on.
Don't leave anybody here because they're going to be embittered, Eric.
Why would they be embittered?
Because if you left them out of a super chat and then we get over to locals and you go, oh my God, I found another super chat.
I know, but there's always one sneaking through, and the way it's coming
That's
in
what
with
happened
Jack,
last week, though. I mean, I
know. I do my best. So that's why we're going to make sure of things, and we will see everybody at locals right now.